the live. I'm gonna be making a paleo keto pad thai. We're going to be using this kohlrabi linguine, which is made by Man's Fresh Veggies. I love these. They're so good. I normally spiralize vegetables like zucchini for noodles, or I use the shirataki noodles, which are really low carb, but I was so surprised at the nutritional information on these. For 2 cups, it's 5 grams of total carbs, 3 grams of fiber, and it's a vegetable. And you know, I always prefer using a whole ingredient food versus, I mean, the shirataki noodles are great. I have a bag in the fridge right now, but this is like an actual vegetable, which is so awesome. And I love it because it's not chewy and they don't get soggy like zoodles, because they're, here, I'm gonna get closer. They're like, I don't know, they're like starchy almost, but they're not because they're so low carb. So I'm gonna keep this really simple today. I'm gonna try and get through this really fast so this video is not like crazy long. I'm doing it on YouTube and on Instagram Live. So if you can't watch the whole IG Live, you can come back and it'll be on my YouTube channel. And I'll probably share it on my Facebook channel too. So first I'm gonna set my cast iron skillet to heat over medium heat. And I always heat up my cast iron skillets on medium heat for like a few minutes. This recipe is on my blog. I'm doing a super simple version today, so we're gonna leave out the extra veggies. We're just gonna do the kohlrabi noodles, a little garblic. We're gonna do a few of the bean sprouts, and I just buy this chop suey blend. They sell it at my grocery store. We're gonna do the eggs, just a few eggs scrambled. We have green onion. Oh, you can't really see me. Hold on, there you go. We have some minced green onion and garlic, and then the sauce is super simple. So I do a peanut-free sauce. The base of the sauce is just coconut aminos and fish sauce and a little bit of vinegar. And then I use sunflower butter to make it creamy and nutty. Sun butter is delicious. I think as opposed to almond butter, it tastes more peanut-y. Now, I usually buy the Sun Butter brand. Their organic kind is sugar-free. It's only sunflower seeds. But their traditional kind with like the yellow lid has sugar in it, which is so weird that like the ingredients would vary so much organic or conventional. So they didn't have the organic kind, so I bought this brand, which is a little more expensive. It's a Once Again brand, but it's unsweetened, which is really good. It's what you want. You don't want added sugars in your condiments, right? So, for those of you who don't know, we're military and we are moving from Hawaii to Virginia, and all my house stuff is packed up. This is literally all I have in my kitchen right now. I kept behind a few things so I could still cook. So what I'm gonna do is mix about, I think it's 2 tablespoons of the sun butter into the rest of the sauce ingredients before I add it to the skillet. I just wanna show you how easy it is to mix. And you don't really need to heat up the sauce beforehand. I like to do it because it thickens it up a little bit. And it helps melt the sun butter, because if not, it might stay like kind of chunky. Like, yeah, it's not stirring in really well. So I'm gonna pour this into the small skillet and just heat it over low heat until the sun butter is smooth. And now that my skillet's a little hot, my cast iron, it's been heating this whole time, I'm gonna add in a little bit of coconut oil. I really like cooking with coconut oil. It's good for high heat cooking. I personally like the coconutty taste, but if you don't like coconut oil taste, you can always use avocado oil, which is really good for you too, and also good for high heat cooking. While sesame oil would like flavor-wise be really great here, I prefer to use sesame oil to finish off dishes, although occasionally I will add it to actual cooking. You just usually don't want to cook on high heat with seed-based oils because they can get like carcinogenic and stuff. So not all oils are created equal. All right, so I'm gonna just add in my garlic and just saute it until it's aromatic. If you're doing the full recipe, you would also saute some cabbage and some matchstick carrots and some cabbage as well here. But the great thing about pad thai is that it's such a simple recipe. You can make it as basic or as complicated as you want. Like today we're doing the noodles, the flavored stuff, the eggs, the sauce, easy peasy. But you can always add in, it's the perfect recipe when you have tons of veggies going bad in your fridge. You just chop them up and add them into your stir fry, and it's great. I'm just gonna mix this up here. You can see it's still like a little chunky, but as it heats up, it'll get smooth. Okay, so garlic is going, and when you're cooking garlic, you don't want to cook it too long to the point where it gets like golden brown. Once it starts smelling almost like do you remember what like pizzerias or like garlic rolls smelled like, that yummy garlic smell? That's what you want. But if it starts getting black, it'll have a bitter taste. So you don't want to burn your garlic. I love garlic. I use it a lot. Oh, fun fact, guys, really quick, just a little segue. I live in Hawaii, as I just mentioned, and because our furniture is packed up, we're sleeping on loaner mattresses on the floor, and a giant centipede bit my leg last night, right here, like fang bites, and it's swollen and it hurts, and I don't know if I'll ever sleep again. So I've been up since like 3 in the morning, so, excuse my, if I'm a little all over the place. All right, this is starting to come together. Keep stirring. And I'm going to use the same skillet where I'm cooking the sauce to then scramble the eggs after I add the sauce to the noodles. Some people do the eggs first with the garlic and then add the noodles and then saute. But that's when you're doing, that's in traditional recipes because the noodles are cooked because they're like wheat noodles or whatever. But because we're using veggie noodles and they have to saute, I don't like putting the eggs in first because then it'll just overcook the eggs and you'll have these super dry scrambled eggs. So there's a method to my madness. All right, see how it's looking better? Okay, I'm gonna put that back on the heat. My garlic is smelling toasty. So I'm gonna add in my bag of veggie noodles. And these just came out. So if you can't find them in stores yet, don't despair. In the full recipe post, there's a product locator. And I noticed on YouTube, my face gets cut off all the time. Sorry, guys. It's hard. I don't have like a proper setup. Let me move this a little bit so people on Instagram can see the skillets. Is that better? Okay. So yeah, I just put my noodles in here. I'm going to use a little bit of salt. And just saute them until they're tender. And once they are tender, I'm going to add in a handful of the bean sprouts, add in the sauce, and scramble the eggs and serve. Okay, here we go. So now the sauce, it started simmering. And look, now you'll see. Let me get a spoon. It might be easier to show you guys. Hold on. Okay. See? Now the sauce is ready. It just takes that little bit of heat to smooth it out because, those nut butters, man, they're thick. All right, let's keep sauteing the noodles. And you'll know when they're ready because they'll go from being kind of stiff like this to they'll wilt and they'll give a little bit and they'll be like very noodle-like. And that's how you know that it's time to add in the sauce. I wish I had a bigger skillet. In the recipe, I definitely advise on a very large skillet. But as I just said, my house stuff is packed up. So this is like the only big skillet I got, which is big, but it's not that big. I'm going to add in my green onions too, and I'm going to add in the bean sprouts now. Just a handful. You don't need to add a lot of these. This one is the chop suey mix, so it's actually got a little bit of carrot. And I'm not 100% sure about so the sprouts, they're not actual beans. They're bean sprouts. And you can eat them like raw. So I don't know if they fall under like the green bean rule, that they're like paleo technically or not. Someone says, what's a good substitute for the kohlrabi noodles? I mean, you could buy kohlrabi and spiralize your own noodles from them if you find the root, the veggie. Or you can use zoodles, or you can use shirataki noodles. So there's options. You can use any kind of, grain-free, low-carb noodle option that you like. I'm just super digging these kohlrabi noodles. Of course, Man's Packing, Man's Fresh Veggies, they do they have like a bunch of these. They make like sweet potato noodles, and they have cauliflower rice, and they do the broccoli slaw. I'm just a fan of those kind of things, because even though I have like the kitchen tools to make those things myself, man, it's like crazy how much of a mess it makes in your kitchen. Okay, see, now the noodles are soft. They're not stiff anymore. And they're getting all over the place. So I'm going to add my sauce in. If I had a spatula, like a rubber spatula, I would like wipe this all into it. I'm going to give it a little wipe. And then put that skillet back on the heat. Add a little coconut oil. And right here in the skillet, I'm going to do the scrambled eggs, which I have 2 large eggs scrambled right here. Whoop. Look at that, it's coming together. It looks like pad thai, and the sauce is so good. Something about fish sauce. If you guys aren't cooking with fish sauce yet, it's one of my favorite condiments. Now, unfortunately, traditional fish sauce does have added sugar in it. But red goat fish sauce, which you can get on Amazon, you can get at Whole Foods, it's like the only one on the market that doesn't have added sugar. It's just like the fermented fish. Fish sauce has that umami flavor. It's very salty. It's like savory. It adds a richness to like dishes. I actually use it in my AIP cauliflower sauce to add like a cheesy flavor. Because Parmesan cheese, those like crystals on it, like the old school for real Parmesan cheese, those like crystallized looking things that you find on it, that's umami. So cheesy flavor is often it's like umami flavor. So you can kind of trick your palate anyway into thinking it's getting one thing when you're actually getting it another. Eggs are almost scrambled. You don't want to like super dry, but you don't want them like wet, because you don't want them like clinging onto the noodles too much. Yeah. So scrambled eggs. And they get a little funky color because the skillet was dirty from the sauce, but like that's fine because the sauce is in the dish. So just add those in. And then you mix. You guys, that's it. And now we serve it. And then we just garnish. And I have some lime wedges to garnish. I don't have any more herbs, but I'm going to do lime wedges and some sesame seeds. Sorry, I'm like getting stuff out of my dishwasher. All right, turn that off. Hold on, let me move this back because the people on YouTube can't see. What a mess. It's my first time. It's my first time cooking on live. So, bear with me. Okay, there we go. Look at the dish. Okay, so look how convincing these noodles are. It looks like the real deal. And the lime is super important, people. Pad Thai, the lime is a must. And do some sesame seeds. And that's it. That's super basic. That's it. That's the Pad Thai. I mean, you could always add, come on, I need a fork so I can show you guys. You could, ay Dios mío, what a mess. Okay, you could always add chicken to this. You can add pork belly. You can add more veggies. Like in the other, I like to do red cabbage because it, look, So this is a smaller batch because it didn't have all the extra veggies that I normally add, and the bag of noodles that I used was like already half gone. But normally the recipe would make enough for 3 people. Like obviously this is a giant mountain of food, but look, it's soft, it's saucy, it's super delicious. So the recipe's super easy. For those of you on YouTube, I will link it in the comments. And for those of you on Instagram, there's a link in my bio for the super easy pad thai. So I hope you guys enjoyed cooking with me on this Saturday morning, even though I haven't slept. And yeah, more awesome keto paleo recipes on the blog, thecastawaykitchen.com. And my cookbook coming out soon, so that's exciting. And I'll try and do more of these. This was fun. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Bye. And stream and live.